Hey everyone, this is Felicia with The Book is Done. I am back with another amazing book that I had read for the month of November. And when I tell you, baby, this book was good. This book was so good. This is the second book by an author who is soon to come out with his third book. I cannot wait. It's coming out, I want to say, in like March or April. I'm getting it. I'm one of those who will have all of his books. His books are auto buy for me, and he has been so gracious for me to read an ARC copy of both of his books. And I think I'm on a list for the third one too. So I am super excited. I am a fan. So for those who don't know, My Father is a Serial Killer by Spencer Guerrero. Now, I talked about a book, My Son is a Murderer. That was his first book by Spencer Guerrero a few months ago, and it was so, so good. These books are not related, they are not series books. The third book that's coming out is a standalone as well. And this book, I feel like this book was better than the first book. The first book, whoo, child, there's some shady boots, family stuff going on in there. This one served no less. And so, one thing that I do like, and I normally try to do this with all of my videos, is that if there are any triggers that they are mentioned, he mentions it like within the first part of the book: sexual abuse, sexual harassment, sexual assault, marital abuse, like, or mental abuse, suicide, some non-graphic scenes of child abuse. Reader discretion is advised. I seriously feel like whether it is a psychological thriller, whether it's something by Stephen King, Dean Koontz, or whatever the case may be, yes, we all know that they are mysteries. Yes, we know that they are thrillers. But especially in today's day and age now, anything is a trigger almost. And so I think that it is amazing, not genius, but I think that it's extremely thoughtful that the authors, put in there, possible triggers. Because I mean, there are some fans. I grew up um, reading so many books of so many people, Mary Higgins Clark and Danielle Steele and R.L. Stein, where it's like, V.C. Andrews, the books that we read 20, 30 years ago, um, definitely needed to come with triggers. But back then, it really wasn't. It was a trigger, true enough, but it wasn't to the point where you need to mention it in the beginning of the book. These books now, not even the books, just society that we live in now, almost everything needs to come with a trigger. So, a trigger warning. And so, I thought that that was super, super amazing for him to do that. So, this book, oh my gosh. So, one thing that I realized is that um, with this book, it was so many, but like the main character, her name is Venus, and her name is Venus, and she is a blogger of true crime, mysteries and things of that nature. So if it's something that are like unsolved mysteries, or just trying to catch the people, she goes out and she does this. And so she's either there for when they bust them, she helps the police to solve the murders, like she does everything. And she's married to this person named Arthur. Arthur wants her to be happy, but he's just like, ma'am, this is scary. Like, they could come for you, they could kill you, they could come kill me. Like, it's crazy. So, Venus grew up in a tumultuous childhood. Her her father was abusive, mentally abusive, physically abusive, emotionally abusive. It was him, his wife. Hold on, because the second thing that I thought was interesting was that the wife had a V name, V as in Victor, Venus, and then a younger sister named Vera, and then even the aunt. Um, the aunt's name was Vanya. Mom's name was Violet. So they all had V names on mom's side, which was so, I get it, but that's just overkill. So dad's name was Dennis. His his name was Dennis Duarte. And then her married name, no, her name, excuse me, was Venus Snow, I believe. I gotta get it right. I'm sorry. Like I said, I read this in December or November, And so I'm trying to make sure I get all of it together. Her dad used to call them the B girls because it was just, they were all B's. And so, okay, her last name is Snow. Her maiden name is Snow. So her name is Venus Snow. Mom's name was Violet Snow. Sister's name was Vera Snow. And then aunt's name was Vanya. And I had a moment. Venus's married name is Duarte. And so it's Venus Duarte, and then it's the Snows. And so I want to say um, that in the beginning, Venus, just the relationship between Venus and Vera did not, they couldn't stand. Vera was like she's the youngest, so she didn't really get a full extent of how her dad was and being violent until like she had gotten a little bit older. But Venus knew what was up from Jump Street, and she was trying to protect Vera. So the story starts off as to where um, one of the murder mysteries that Venus was trying, like Venus was in the process of helping close the mystery. They had pretty much found him. It was a shootout. He died. So then it was like a few weeks later, she got a call that she just said off rip her dad was a murderer, and she was just like, I don't care. I know he did it. She gets a call that her mom and her sister were killed, and that their heads were cut off with an axe, and like the heads were just sitting next to the body, like no, their body was there, but the heads were missing. They couldn't find their heads until literally towards the end of the story. So I was like, holy crap, what the what? And so the mom and the sister were killed, and her dad was just acting all nonchalant, acting like he was all distraught. And Venus was like, you killed them. I know you did. And then it was like maybe a week later or a few days later, her aunt was killed. Same way. You know what? I may be telling the story. I want to say the aunt. No, the mom was killed. The mom was killed first with the axe. Her head was cut off. And then a few weeks later, the aunt and the sister, Vera and Vanya, were killed with their heads cut off. No one could find the heads, but their bodies had been cut off. And so from Jump Street, Venice was like, my dad did it. I know he did. And Arthur was like, I don't like him. I never did. But, I tolerate him for you. And so they go throughout the story. And Arthur, who is Venus's husband, is just like, I want to have a baby. Like, I'm knocking on 40. I really want to have a baby. And she's like, we will have a baby. And she's not really all that enthusiastic about having a baby because she is like, in her heart of hearts, purest of heart, she believes her dad is a murderer, serial killer, and killing her mom, aunt, and sister. And she's like, if I have that gene in me, I don't want to pass that off to my child. You know what I mean? And then like her mom was just very strict as well, but nothing like her dad. And so she was like, I don't want to be anything like my parents. Come to find out, she's pregnant, but she hides it because she even hides it from her husband because she knows if she tells her husband, he's going to want her to stop trying to go out and solve all of these true crime mysteries and things of that nature. So I'm going to stop right there. But in all things, that book right there was so good. Spoiler alert, I will tell you, the dad did it. The dad did everything. And he was like a narcissist all throughout the book, but he was smooth with it. Meaning, like, he could charm anybody and anyone to do what they wanted him to do or for him to seem innocent. But underneath, he was like a true monster. Like, how everything comes to light, you're just like, oh snap, I see why he did it. I see what happened. But wow. So yeah, this book was, spoiler alert, honey, the title is true. The title, the father is the serial killer. So just, yes, I'm not going to say that that's the same with the other two books. well, with the first book and my son being a murderer. If you've seen my review of that, then okay, you've seen it. But if not, you know, hey, go see it. Go see what I said. But yeah, My Father is a Serial Killer was such a good book. Um, I'm sorry I don't have the name of the third book that's coming out. It's something dealing with my wife. My wife something. My wife's other husband. I don't know what I forgot what it is. And probably when I start the next video, I'll bring it up and we'll mention it then. But if you have not read any Spencer Guerrero's books, My Son is a Murderer and My Father is a Serial Killer, please, please, please go check it out. It's on Amazon. He has his own website. You know, he has newsletters, and he keeps you in the know about other authors as well. And so he's amazing, and he's actually become a cool friend. So he's on Instagram, he's on Facebook, and so many books and so many different pages. But check him out. So again, this is Felicia with The Book Is Done. I'm almost done with November.